you were able to manipulate your way over. Oh, I miss you guys so much. I'm glad you made it here. So, yay, we've got some people. So for practice this morning, go ahead and have a couple of blocks, a blanket, and maybe plus minus a strap. This is a really fantastic weekend for going inward. So as we move into Halloween weekend, which is sort of, I love tradition. There's been so many teachers who have been able to, I love a good storyteller. So I had a teacher who was a historian, and Buddhist medicine was his real specialty. He was a scholar, but he was an excellent storyteller, and he would weave all of the stories of different traditions into a way of teaching us about what it was we were learning at that time. But the reason I bring it up is because this weekend, as we move into Halloween, a lot of the traditions that came were from Samhain, which was the end of the harvest season, the celebration to end the harvest season and the moving into this time of darkness. So a yoga practice that's a beautiful reflection of this time is forward folds in the physical space. And then, of course, in the emotional space, it's a great time to take stock of what's really been working for us. What sort of things did we do this past year, or through this sort of time in life, whether that's in the framework of a year or shorter or longer, depending on how you want to look at things that you've been looking to cultivate. So what's really been working, and what maybe we need to cultivate in a little bit of a different way. So it's a beautiful time to reflect. So we're going to work on a little bit of forward folding, and we'll look at some ways that we can start to do a little self-reflection as we work into this time of darkness. We looked outside and I was like, oh my gosh, it's not even quite 7 a.m. and it's still dark. So perfect. Grab something to sit on, unless, of course, your knees easily, reach towards the earth without sitting on a prop. I need a little something so that my hips are slightly higher than my knees. And then begin by either taking a soft gaze, or you can close your eyes fully and starting to set up the internal space. Starting to draw your awareness inward. Taking an inventory of the physical space. Noticing what your body feels like. Doing so with a sense of kindness, as much as possible without any judgment, and with a sense of curiosity. Each day can be vastly different. So what does the body have today? What are the sensations? Where do things feel at ease? Where do things feel like they could use an extra breath for just a little bit of release, a little bit of letting go? And as we move inward, drawing your awareness to your breath. And in this moment, no need to change anything or manipulate anything. Starting to observe the breath just as it arrives. This is a practice, the practice of anapanasati, but it's also a practice of pratyahara, the practice of starting to really draw the senses inwards, starting to create this container of awareness. And now, with a sense of the breath in its natural state, start to deepen your breath, gently creating a slightly deeper inhale, allowing your exhale to just flow naturally, no strain or effort. As you breathe in, starting to create the connection between the sensations of your breath and the physical body. So, noticing the way in which the ribs expand, both front and back. Noticing the way that there's a gentle lift within the spine. Notice how, as you exhale, there's a little bit of a sinking down towards the earth, a rooting, a grounding that occurs. Starting to create the connections between breath and body. Now, taking your hands and bringing them, palms touching in front of the heart. And as we transition into this period of external darkness, taking a moment, and it may come now, and if it doesn't come now, that's okay, but taking a moment to reflect on the things that perhaps we need to sort of retill, the things in which we need to fertilize so that we can create an abundance in our next harvest, the things which we hope to cultivate. As I said, maybe there's something that right away you already know where the work needs to be done. And if there's nothing that arises immediately, just let that seed sit. Let that sort of be with you over the next days or weeks, and it will arise. And taking a soft bow of your chin, trusting that that seed has been planted. And then softly releasing your hands down to the tops of your thighs and lifting your gaze to the horizon. Beautiful. From here, you can take your prop, set it off to the side. And then if you do have a strap or a towel or anything like that, if you'd like that for forward folds, we won't need it till later. I'm going to grab one now. But if you want that for a little bit later on in the practice, you can have that available as well. So coming now, changing the cross of the legs. If you were sitting in a cross-legged seat, bringing fingertips down towards the earth. Take a deep breath in, reach fingertips up, take the gaze up. Now on your exhale, just begin to bow forward. Allow this to just be a little bit loose and free. Often I'll say leave the hip bones rooted, but I just want this to be a place that starts to open into the body. So if the hip bones lift a little bit, that's absolutely no problem at all. See if you can just start to soften into the back of the neck. Soften into the structures of the face. Create a little sensation of melting here, of surrendering. Good. And then inhale, walk the hands back. Start to take them a bit behind you with the fingertips pointing back. Press into the palms. Start to lift the pelvis towards the sky. Take your gaze straight up towards the sky. Good. On your exhale, allow the pelvis to soften back down towards the earth. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine tall. Exhale, folding forward. We'll just do this a couple of times. Inhale as you walk the hands back. Good. Exhaling, hands walk behind. Inhale, press into the palms, pelvis lifts. Exhale, sink pelvis to the earth. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhaling, rise. Exhale, walk the hands back. Inhale, pelvis lifts. Take just a couple more rounds. If it feels really good to spend a little extra time in one of the positions, feel free. Your breath may be slower or faster. Maybe you get a big lift in the pelvis, or maybe it just moves just a little bit. It's all absolutely perfect. One thing about the practice that we continually come back to is whatever you're doing, is you're bringing sensation into your body. That's your perfect practice, truly. The next time you're sitting upright, change the cross of your legs. Good. Bring fingertips out to the side. Inhale, reach left arm up to the sky. And on your exhale side, bending over to the right, make a soft bend in the right elbow, soften the right shoulder away from the ear. This time, keep sitting bones rooted down towards the mat so that you get a really nice lift out of the left hip, stretching up the left side body. Create a little rotation in the lifted arm, so your left arm, so that the palm is reaching towards the back. So pinky is directed down towards the earth. Good. Now, taking the left hand, sweep it down towards the right thigh and start to take a twist over to the right. Take your gaze over the right shoulder and find this coming from navel and above. So you're starting to create this twist from the mid back, upper back. Good, and let's come out the way we came in. So inhale, arm sweeps up, side bend. And exhale, returning to the start. Let's take it to the opposite side. Inhale, right arm sweeps up. Take a few breaths in this side bend with the right sitting bones rooted, fingertips lifted, palm pressing towards the back of the space. So a rotation in the arm. So pinky is pointing downwards. This really starts to create a really nice release in the trapezius muscle. We carry so much stress and tension within the neck, the shoulders. So this just gives just a little more space for that to relax. And then notice if you've translated any stress or tension somewhere else. Often we find it's a real pressing into the floor of the left hand. So make it soft, make it easy. Great. Now taking right hand to the outside of the left thigh, creating your twist. Gazing over the left shoulder. This time you can use a little bit of pressure within the right palm against the thigh to create a little rotation and feeling the spine as it rotates from navel and above. Good. And then coming out the way we came in. So unwinding through the side bend. And then fingertips rotating down towards the earth, rolling onto hands and knees to tabletop position. Walk the hands forward for Anahatasana puppy pose. So as you allow the heart to melt down towards the mat, you can spread the hands a bit wide like a V, especially if the shoulders are pretty strong. This will give just a little more room. And then as you melt down, either chin, nose, or forehead can come down towards the mat. So play with that, see what feels right for you there. Again, depending on the shoulders, strong shoulders can create the need for just a little extra space. So give a few breaths here. And as you're here, see if you can really just melt, surrender, and trust. Good. Then walking the hands back slowly Exhale, hips towards heels, child's pose. Walk fingertips forward. Take a little rock side to side, releasing through the shoulders. Good. Then coming up to hands and knees, tabletop position. Turn the toes under. Send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. This point, feel free to walk it out. Take your gaze up towards your thighs or towards your navel so that your neck is really long and free. Rotating the arms so that the shoulders are broadening in the backside body. Find a little tip in your tailbone so that the tailbone is reaching towards the sky. You may immediately start to feel a little lengthening in your hamstrings as that happens. Good. And then start to find a little bit of stillness, pressing into the base of the palms and taking a deep breath into the back side of the body, feeling a really long spine. And on your exhale, softly walk your feet forward between your hands. And inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale as you fold it forward fully. Inhale, press down into the feet, rise up fully, palms touch overhead. And exhale, hands, heart center. Inhaling, reach it up tall. Exhale as you fold. Now, as you fold, stay here, soft bend or big bend in the knees as much as you need to find a bit of room, a bit of space, and then just gently ragdoll side to side. Fingers can dangle, or if you want a little extra traction, clasping opposite elbows. So really, truly go with what feels intuitively right here. As you're here, tailbone lifting. So even as you're finding some ease, tailbone lifting up, feet rooted into the earth. Good. And if you're clasping elbows, releasing fingers down towards the earth, finding some stillness in the center. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze comes up, fingertips touch. And exhale, hands glide to heart center. Inhale, reach it tall. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up fully, palms touch, gaze comes up. And exhale, hands, heart center. Good. Let's start to move it on. Inhaling as you reach. Allow the pinky side to touch first. Exhale as you fold. Take your gaze up towards the navel. Inhale, halfway lift, crown draws away from the tailbone. Exhale as you fold. Plant your hands, step it back, top of a push-up. And I want you to release your knees down towards the earth. As we move into this time of darkness, let's take it just a little bit quieter. On your exhale, release it fully down to the mat, knees, chest, chin. And then inhaling, just slightly forward, low cobra. Exhale, releasing forehead down. Inhale, push it up to table, and exhale the hips back to child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. I want you to rise up to fingertips, so palms lifted, tailbone curling back, active arms, so releasing the trapezius muscle, really creating a broad back. Good. On your inhale, walk the hands back so that you come to standing on the knees, and then taking your right leg, reaching it out to the side as we set up for Parivasana gate pose. Taking your right hand, reaching it down towards the right leg, just sort of sliding it down. Inhale, reach left arm up. Now, knee, hip, shoulder aligned to begin. Take a deep breath in. Reach fingertips up. Exhale, side bending over to the right. Don't worry about quite how far you go, as much as keeping a lifted side body. So lifting out of the waist. And then really expanding this accordion-like movement through the ribs. Good. Inhale as you rise. Now take the left hand, planting it down to the outside of the left leg, and then floating right leg. Gazing down either towards the left fingertips or option to take it over the right shoulder. Taking a few breaths, strong right leg, flexed right foot, heel pressing away. Great. And then coming back, planting the foot. From here, start to walk the hands forward as you gently melt the heart towards the earth. Find a little tip in the pelvis. You might feel a bit of a stretch in the back side of the leg, really depending on where we're beginning. You might feel a bit of sensation within the heart center. Take a few breaths. If it feels right, you can come all the way down, or you can stay on forearms or hands. All are absolutely appropriate. Good. Inhaling, rising back up. Hands come to the waist. Bring the knees back in. We'll take it to the opposite side. So left leg comes out as we set up for Parivasana on the opposite side. Left hand floats down. Inhale, reach right arm up. Exhale as you side bend, lifting up and out of the right waist as you find this line that's right knee, right hip, right shoulder, the accordion-like movement of the right side ribs, breath filling and expanding. Pinky turns slightly towards the earth. If you'd like to get a little more stretch within the back of the neck, you can take your gaze over the right arm, over the right shoulder. And inhaling as you rise, take the right hand, plant it to the outside of the right leg, and then start to float the left leg up. You can keep your gaze down towards the right hand. This is a little bit more grounded, a little more stable. Or you can take it towards the sky. That will just provide a little bit more of a balance challenge. You might notice that the core engages a little bit more as you shift the gaze. Option, if you have not already, to invite in your Ujjayi breath, soft whispering over the throat, sort of that gateway, the thing that provides the regulation, little auditory feedback. Good. And then rising back up, planting the foot, taking your exhale, starting to walk the hands forward. Now, again, you can bring this to hands if it feels right, forearms, or for a really deep forward fold, coming all the way down, heart melting towards the mat. So whatever feels appropriate in your body, all are absolutely correct. Taking a few breaths here to soften, to melt. Good. Then pressing into the hands as you come back to standing on the knees. Good. Walk it forward, tabletop position. Turn the toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, bending the right knee, shift the hips to the left as you sink the left heel towards the earth. Inhale, both knees bend. And then as you exhale, turning the heels towards the left knee bends, right leg straightens, sinking the right heel towards the earth, pressing into the legs, shifting the hips to the left. Take this just a couple more times, moving side to side. Good. And then after you've completed the left side so that you're even, making your way through center. And at the end of your exhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward between your hands. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale as you fold forward fully. Inhale as you rise up fully, palms touch. And exhale, hands, heart center. Nice. Inhale, reach it up tall. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale as you fold. Plant your hands, step it back, top of a push-up. Knees release down to the earth, come slightly forward. And on your exhale, chest and chin release down. Inhaling, low cobra. Exhaling, release it down. Inhale to rise up through table. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Take just a couple of gentle movements here, gentle sways. Good. Inhale, rise up through table. Turn the toes under and exhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, lift your right leg long and tall. And on your exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Good. From here, release your left leg down. And we'll come to Hanuman Asana. So option to use your blocks underneath your hands as you start to just straighten through the right leg. I always have to sort of wiggle my foot a little bit forward so that my back leg, my hip and knee are stacked on top of each other. You may come into alignment right away. I have to kind of heel toe mine forward. So from here, heel presses forward, right hip crease pulls back. And then see if you can just draw the inside of your right thigh down towards the earth slightly. Good. So stay here for just a couple of breaths and kind of feel into the hamstring. And then we're going to start to fan the foot back and forth. So waving the foot back and forth as we just kind of get into the different aspects of the hamstring back here. We call it the hamstring, but it's made up of different muscles. It's a muscle group. So we'll just kind of get into those, the technical aspects of the class. Good. Then finding stillness through center, but center is going to be the inner thigh slightly rotating down towards the earth. And then I want you to start to bring your torso towards your thigh, any amount. Might be a millimeter, or maybe you're folding fully. Just take a couple of breaths here. Great. Now taking left hand, bring it to the outside of the right leg. Take a couple of breaths here. So now we're shifting, moving the stretch into the outside of the right leg. So IT band, some other little pesky muscles over there. Good. Walk the hands back to the inside of the right foot. Sweep that right leg around. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Little sway side to side. Good. Inhale, rise up through table. Turn the toes under. Exhale the hips up and back. Downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. And on your exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Release the right knee down, top of the foot down, and then start to straighten through the left leg. Again, for you, maybe it straightens right away. I have to kind of heel toe mine forward to maintain right knee, right hip in alignment here, stacked one over the other. Now, left heel presses forward, left hip crease draws back. So you're really creating activity in the back of the hamstring here. And then add the element of the internal rotation. So the left inner thigh is being directed down towards the earth. It's subtle, but it can make a lot of difference in sensation. Good. Now from here, start to fan the foot side to side. Good, and then we'll find our starting position. So that's the inner thigh slightly directed down towards the earth, heel pressing forward, hip crease drawing back, and then start to release the torso down towards the thigh, any amount, maybe small or maybe very large. Wherever you have sensation is perfect. Take a few breaths in this spot, your sensation. And then right hand reaches over to the outside of the left leg for a few breaths here. Maintain the activity in the foot. Sometimes it's easy to start to lose that. Good. Then both hands sweep to the inside, bend through the left knee, sweep the leg back, send the hips back, child's pose, little move side to side, feel into the hamstrings, the glutes. And inhale as you rise up through table. Exhale the hips up and back, downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling into this space, breathing into the backside body. And at the end of your exhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward between your hands. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Inhale to rise up fully, palms touch, gaze comes up. And exhale, hands, heart center. Heel toe your feet about hip width distance, so about 2 fists, give or take. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale as you fold. Now from here, I want you to take first finger and middle finger, wrap the big toe, thumb on top of the big toe. So often the thumb wants to come to the earth, and that sort of creates a kickstand and does two things. It brings the outer edge of the foot onto the earth, which sort of creates this eversion of the foot. So I want you to have the thumb on top of the toes so that the toes, the whole foot can maintain a flat connection, a full connection to the earth. Now bring the weight towards the ball mounds of the feet. So pouring the weight forward. And if you need to have a bend in the knees, that is absolutely fine. From here, take a deep breath in and lengthen your spine as if you're in a halfway lift. So crown of head is reaching away from the tailbone to begin. Now, on your exhalation, begin to fold forward as you bend the elbows, drawing your torso closer to the thighs, crown of the head closer to the earth. So as you do that, your weight will start to pour into the ball mounds of the feet. Lift the tailbone, weight towards the ball mounds of the feet. Slight tuck of the chin as the gaze comes up towards the thighs or towards the navel. Take a few breaths here. Inhaling, halfway lift. Release the hands. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet and inhale to rise up fully. Palms touch. And exhale, hands, heart center. Good job. From here, make your way down to the earth. If you'd like to have your strap available, if you're using one, now's the time to take that. Also, option here to just give a quick check-in. We'll start off with legs extended long. So as you come to your seat with legs extended long, if you notice that your back is rounding, the low back is rounding out, you can take a prop of any sorts. I've got a blanket, but a towel or rolling up the mat a little bit so that you can just get a little bit of a lift under the sacrum so that you can keep a natural curve in the lumbar spine. So starting off with Paschimottanasana, forward fold, legs extended long, option to use a strap, or if you don't have a strap, no problem at all. We can absolutely do the pose without it. So rooting down into the tailbone, that internal rotation of the thighs. So even though we're extending with the legs long, we'll feel the internal rotation of the thighs. So thighs pointing down towards the earth. Take a deep breath in. Feel the crown of the spine, crown of the head grow towards the sky. And on your exhale, begin to fold forward. And I want you just to hinge for a moment for just the part that you can hinge while keeping your back straight. So it may be a lot less than what you think. So for me, it's not too far. So go where just your back can stay straight. So this can be a function of hip mobility, just literally the way the hips are built. It can be a function of hamstring strength, tightness, all of the above. So I just want you to get a sensation for that. Now from here, two options. If you're not using a strap, you can just place your hands along the legs or feet if they're available. If you're using a strap, you can hook that around the bridge, that sort of ball mount area of the feet. And then as you exhale, begin to use either hands or strap to gently begin to fold forward a little bit further. Folding forward to your comfort, to your depth, to your sensation. Taking a gentle tuck of your chin so that you feel the back of your neck get long. And taking several breaths here to find that space of quiet reflection. Forward folds are probably the most representative poses in asana practice to bring about the space of internal awareness. So taking that seed, maybe it already has a name or an idea, or maybe it's an unnamed seed, but allowing it to be held within as we turn into this time that's all about preparation. It's all about preparing for the next season. Seeing what we would like to cultivate, where we need to change things up so that we can flourish and grow. And inhaling as you rise. Now, from here, you can keep your strap. We've got two options for the next pose. They're the same pose, but I'll give you two options for the legs. So option number one is going to be bending the right leg, bringing sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Option number two is going to be taking the right leg and then bending the leg, bending the knee so that you're bringing the heel all the way back, touching the outside of the right hip. So both are going to provide a really nice single leg forward fold. But if you have any discomfort in your knee, the option with sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh is a really fantastic pose. So we'll take a single leg forward fold, either sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh or folded back behind you. So this one will be just slightly with the right hip lifted, but I want you to just bring a bit of centering using either strap or no strap. Both are okay. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, beginning to fold forward, taking just a moment here before finding your biggest fold, just to feel into the difference between the single legged and two-legged fold. Good. Now from here, exhaling and finding a bit of depth into your fold. And inhaling as you rise, unwinding your legs, straightening it out, and then taking either sole of left foot to the inside of the thigh, or if you're folding it fully back, taking the leg, folding it back behind, taking a deep breath in to lengthen the spine, and exhaling, hinging forward slightly to begin, feeling in. And now exhaling, folding forward fully to your depth, to your sensation. And inhale, rising up, unwinding as you extend the legs. Find a soft bend in the knees and gently make your way onto your back. Give a little hug of the knees into the chest, little rock side to side. If you feel called, taking Ananda Balasana, blissful baby. And then finding your way to the final pose of rest. So as you come to Shavasana, feeling free to cover up, feeling free to take any modifications as well. So traditionally Shavasana, arms and legs extended long with your body fully flat on the earth. But if there is a variation which you find very restful in your body, then by all means take that variation. These are your few minutes to take for integration of your practice. These are your few minutes to really give yourself the space mentally to say, I have nothing else that is more important right now than these few moments. So as you come to this final pose of rest, feeling the earth beneath your body, this unwavering, continually nourishing, life-giving earth beneath you. allowing your body to be supported as you give in full trust and full surrender to the earth. Finding connection with your breath, maybe even creating an internal smile as you feel the sensation of your breath washing over you. And starting to invite small, gentle movements into your body. As you're ready, extending your arms long, finding a full body stretch. Hugging your knees into your chest. And then very slowly, without any hurry, making your way to your right hand side. And then taking just a few breaths here. This beautiful moment to receive this time of transition. To nourish your intentions, nourish the seeds you've planted. And then as you're ready, using your hands to press yourself up to a seat. And keeping your eyes closed, bringing your hands to heart center. And taking a moment to give yourself a deep inner bow for your perseverance, for wading through technical challenges, for arriving for your practice, for showing up in community. Taking your hands to your forehead, and as you lower them to your heart, bowing to each other. Namaste.